What is going on, everyone? Give It Thought back here for another Final Fantasy 15 news update video. And today's question for the chopping block is, does Final Fantasy 15 already have too much DLC for its own good? The reason I wanted to do this video is because I've seen DLC plans for this game trickle in over the past month. Now, it's set to release on September 30th after its last delay, so we're getting pretty close to release for this game. But the news cycle seems to be picking up on the DLC plans for it, and I just wanted to go over them with you guys so everyone's on even standing. So let's get into this. Like I said before, the release for Final Fantasy 15 is just over a month away, so the promotion for the game is going crazy right now. And at Gamescom yesterday, the director for the game, Hajime Tabata, went into some details on what the DLC will be about. And so far there have been 6 DLC packs announced for the game, which is really a lot considering the game has not even released yet. But for simplicity's sake, let's go over them really quick. Now the first 3 I want to mention are a little on the lighter side, and they don't really revolve around story that much, at least as far as I can tell. And they are the Booster Pack, the Holiday Pack, and the Expansion Pack. Now the Booster Pack and the Holiday Pack are just extra weapons and armor it seems, so I don't expect they will run for very much money. But just as a side note, this DLC sort of bothers me a little bit, and I think it has the Dishonored effect. If you didn't know, if you pre-ordered Dishonored when it came out, it gave you some extra weapons and items that made the game really easy, and you got them right at the start of the game. And I'm really hoping Final Fantasy 15 can avoid this with its booster packs. But you can always choose to ignore them, it's just if you have them and you're in a tough spot, it's kind of hard to do that. But let's move on. The third one, which is the expansion pack that I mentioned, is really shrouded in mystery so far. The only quote I could find about it was that it promised a completely new Final Fantasy 15 experience. So there's really little to speculate on here. I don't know if it's a New Game Plus mode, or if you can play through the game with a new character. There's really nothing to go on here. So let's move on from that one. The next 3 look to be the biggest pieces of DLC for the game, and they don't focus on the main character, instead choosing to follow his friends. And they are appropriately named Episode Gladiolus, Episode Ignis, and Episode Prompto. And with these 3 we have a bit more details to go on in order to speculate on what they might be about. Speaking about Episode Gladio, Tabata said, "With Gladio, we really want to push the action element and have a much higher level of action gameplay for his episode. So we can assume this episode will focus on fighting tough monsters, which is perfectly fine by me. In fact, I wish that was more of what the DLC was focused on, but that's just my opinion." For the next 2, Tabata said, and I quote, "For Prompto, we're going to focus on how he uses his gun and that kind of element of the gameplay, and have the system slightly customized to work with that." He continued, "And for Ignis, it's going to focus on his tactical abilities and focus on a more tactical kind of gameplay." So going back to that quote really quick, Tabata mentioned slightly customized gameplay. So I wonder how much slightly customized means when it comes to actual gameplay. Because what we've seen of the demo so far, the game plays pretty well, so I don't see them migrating from that kind of gameplay too much. But when it comes to the tactical gameplay he mentioned with Prompto, I bet that is really fun. But it's hard to imagine how it will be implemented within the Final Fantasy 15 system. But let's move on. Now this is all the DLC promised, but there's still more stuff you can purchase to accompany your Final Fantasy 15 experience. There is the Season Pass and the Digital Premium Edition. Now the Season Pass, everyone knows what that is. But the Digital Premium Edition is a downloadable copy of the game with a Season Pass, with some additional items, and some digital goodies based on which system you bought the game for. For example, on Xbox you get some avatar costumes, and on PlayStation, I think you get some themes and maybe a mini soundtrack. And even beyond that, there are the Deluxe and Collector's Edition of the game. So when you take all that into consideration, that is a lot of stuff just to go along with a game. And that's not to mention the anime series and the movie that is coming out. I wanted to make this video to ask a question. Can there be too much when it comes to making games? Is Final Fantasy 15 really pushing the boundaries on what a video game is and what it's supposed to be contained within? In other words, has this game become too ambitious? I don't exactly have an opinion on it. Not a concrete one at least. I do think there is a limit for what you should push for DLC, because I think that encourages companies to save stuff from the final game and put it out later as DLC, which I'm sure a lot of people agree with. But as time goes along, with DLC getting more ambitious by the year, we as gamers are also getting more game to play. But the bad thing is that it's getting into our bank accounts, and not everybody enjoys that fact. But then there are the companies that do DLC right, like CD Projekt Red with the Witcher series. So I really want to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment down below. And that's where I think I'm going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this one, why not check out my last Final Fantasy news update about why the game was delayed yet again. And also, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe. Just click the annotation in the top left corner and you'll be taken right to my channel where you can smash that subscribe button. Again, I would really like to thank all the new subscribers I've gotten lately. All the comments you guys leave, all the discussion that happens down there, that's really what I made this channel for, and it makes me so excited to see that finally happening on my channel. But I think that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, give thought to everything.